college football week 11 Saturday, where me and Ethan talk about majority of the games on the slate today. Again, this is just as much as useful as it is for me and Ethan as it is for you guys. We basically talk through the slate, talk about games we like, bets we already have open, bets we're thinking about, and just pick each other's brains and try to find some good betting opportunities or some bets to stay away from. If you do want our more in-depth prediction on our top 5 matchups of the week, top 4 now, top 4 matchups of the week, you can go check out Power 4 picks over on our Better in Green YouTube channel. Those are it's like a 20-minute video. It's like $5 or not $5. You can send us $5 if you want. 5 minutes a game. Just us breaking down those top matchups a little bit more in depth. But like I said, we're going through these, picking each other's brains. If you guys have games you want us to talk about, please let us know in the comments. We can jump to those games and give you our predictions. And if you guys have other games you like or bets that you have, please let us know, because we're always eager to talk about more, add more, take more bets away. So let us know. But like I said, not a fantastic week in college football. This was supposed to be a really, really big week. We have some really big matchups that in August looked spectacular, and now they're not even worth turning on your TV. But we still have 3 ranked games, I believe. We had a really big playoff implication game last night where Memphis got taken down by Tulane. So that 12 seed is going to be all over the place. It's going to be, that's going to be all over the place over there. So that group of 5 school is wide open. So that's going to be entertaining for the next couple weeks. And we have a couple big games today. And I think, and I'm more looking forward to a couple hangover spots, a couple look ahead spots. And I think these spots are going to keep getting bigger and bigger as we approach the end of the regular season. Obviously, conference or not conference championship games, but rivalry games are the last week of the season. Always a great betting opportunity the week before that to bet against some teams looking ahead. So there's a couple more spots like that with conference standings, with playoff implications, where teams are looking ahead to these big matchups that are going to determine their season, and they're going to forget about, for example, Boston College. They're going to forget about these little tiny schools that are standing in their way, not giving them the peace of mind or the time of the day. And sometimes teams get caught. So it's a very interesting time, very exciting time in college. As you guys all know, November is absolutely chaos in college football. So really looking forward to it and talking through the slate today. But Ethan, how are you doing? How is your Saturday, and how are you feeling about today in college football?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Like you said, could have been a really big slate, and unfortunately isn't. Another game that I noticed that would have been huge. I think it's Florida State Clemson. Is that tonight? That could have been a massive we could have had LSU Alabama going right with Clemson Florida State. Could have been absolute cinema, but yeah, unfortunately we don't. I guess fortunately for me, I can focus on Michigan State basketball because they have a massive matchup with Arkansas tonight, so that's kind of what's on my docket. But as far as college football goes, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm 0-1 on the show. I had Memphis last night on the show. I thankfully did not end up betting them. I know you had Tulane, so you're 1-0. You're improving your winning record, so good on you there. And I think we agreed for the most part the rest of the way. So hoping you stay hot, because I'll join you there. But yeah, as far as today goes, I've locked in 3 plays. I'm going to be busy throughout the day, so I'm trying to get everything locked in the morning and then not have to worry about it. That includes everything: NHL, NBA, college basketball. Right now, I've just got my 3 locked in for college football. I have a few leans that I'm looking at that I'm going to wait until we get into the games, kind of see where your head's at, and maybe place a few more bets. But feeling good about the bets I have placed. We talked about all the games on our show, so yeah, head over there if you guys are interested in the bigger breakdown there. But looking forward to a good Saturday.
Yeah, if you guys in the comments have any other bets in any other sports, please let us know. We can briefly touch on those. Again, this is primarily college football, but like Ethan said, pretty good day in college basketball. I know NBA is rolling, NHL is rolling. So there's a lot going on. So just let us know if you have any other bets that you're looking at or want us to quickly touch on. Again, primarily focusing on college football, but definitely open to talking with the commenters. But let's start off at noon today. Well, actually, before, I do have a semi-decent slate. I actually placed majority of these bets early in the week. I luckily had a pretty good weekend last week in betting. So with instead of depositing or withdrawing money, I just started placing early college football bets. So I do have a couple, and a couple, I'll admit, I was on the wrong side of the line movement, not super pleased with that. Could get a better line now, which is a little disappointing. But do have a couple that I like. I might be adding one or two more. So I have a pretty decent slate today, but more focus on a couple games. I'm looking to upgrade to potentially 2 units or just take some risky money lines. So I just wanted to point out I do have a semi big slate today of actual
Look,
bets. Um,
look at you reinvesting.
yeah,
What
yeah.
a smart businessman.
Well,
I do. Go ahead.
not to like toot my own horn. Like I'm like a $20 better. I had like $900 in my DraftKings account, which is 18 units, and I'm like, holy fuck! Like that's way more than 18 units. What's 90?
180.
180 units. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? Like,
Wait, no.
so I'd still deposit like $700. I had 200 left over. I was like, I'm just gonna get ahead and start taking these bets. Um, Again, not
Right.
to do my own horn, hit a couple pretty big plays on Sunday and Saturday, and I'm hoping to do the same once Taysom scores 2 touchdowns tomorrow. But go ahead,
45 units. I don't know where.
dude. I cannot. Yeah, I know $100 is 5 units, so 100 times yeah,
Yeah.
45. Yep.
I really quick before we get into college football, and I don't often do this, but I just have to mention. Uh, I think just anyone listening has to follow my NBA right now because I don't think I've ever been hotter in a sport in my entire life. I only track my official 1 unit or higher plays, and a lot of my plays have been half unit. But on the official, I'm 8-1 on the year. My unofficial, I have to be hitting 80%. I haven't checked. I'm up like I only have 2 losses. One of them I got a bad line on, lost by a point. The other one was like one of the worst beats of my life, and that's my only 2 losses in 2 weeks. Last night I was just telling you I would have gone 9-2 had I played every game. And I'm putting out solo game videos. I'm putting them in my articles for my plays. So I just think I don't often do that, but I feel like I've never ran hotter in my life in a single sport. So if you follow me for anything, NBA should be where you're at right now.
Yeah, that's great to mention. And we do, like I said, talk about a bunch of different sports over on Better Green. We have individual videos for, like Ethan says, NBA, college basketball, NHL, MMA. We cover it, NFL, obviously, we have our video out now. But we cover it all. And thank you for taking over the NBA range because I've been a little lackluster and slack in there. I'm just a little too invested in college football at the moment. But yeah, if you are interested in some NBA plays, Ethan is on a hell of a streak right now. So again, quick little 10-minute videos over on our page if you want to check out the plays of the day a couple times a week in the NBA, NHL, MMA, EPL out there as well. So just check out our page if you're interested in other sports other than football. But let's start into this football slate starting at noon. Looks like and again, I don't know why the Big 12 does this. Probably because I think they have Fox partnerships, but this is a noon start for BYU Texas Tech. I believe Texas is only an hour, maybe they're 2 hours behind. I'm not quite sure how the time zones work, especially with daylight savings. Some states don't do it, but this is an early start. But I guess the Big 12 is used to this. But game of the day, game of the week, host of College Game Day, BYU #7 undefeated at #8 Texas Tech. Oh, it just moved again. Texas Tech 12.5 point favorite. Holy hell. Over under 49.5. Damn, this is a bet that I really wanted to get on this. I'm still gonna find a way to bet Texas Tech, and honestly, I think I have 100% missed my number, and I honestly think the value is probably on BYU at this high of a number. But Texas Tech, in my opinion, is no doubt winning this game. Um, they're minus 12.5 points on the spread. They're minus 425 on the money line. Again, I'm not huge into money line parlays or parlays in general. I don't want to. Oh, I do like betting them, but I don't want to promote giving those out just because it's just not a super smart way to bet. If you're interested in like a 3-team money line parlay to get it to like minus 100, I love Texas Tech as a little 3-teamer money line bet. I really can't see them losing. I think the line got a little too high for me to bet Texas Tech. I know there's some boosts out there on a couple different sports books on this game. And I just don't know if I can get there with 12.5. They're definitely the right side at 9.5 or 10.5 when they open, but it's just getting to be a little too high for my comfort level. Like I said, I have no doubt Texas Tech wins this game. So I love them on the money line. But again, minus 425 is gross. But yeah, so as of right now, I would say stay away from me on the spread. If you're interested in moneyline parlay, I think Texas Tech is a great ad. I just don't want to give out parlays. But what's your thought, BYU Texas Tech?
Yeah, so I bet this game. I got a bad number too, but now it looks like a little better. I did lock in 11.5, which, it was sitting at 10.5 most of the week. So if the game lands 11, then what was me,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, and I don't think it's gonna matter. I don't think you've missed the boat, and I honestly I would jump on it. I think Texas Tech rolls, and in a spot like this, you really just have to trust the bookmaker.
Yep.
I mean, it's an 8-0 team that's close to a double or a 2 touchdown underdog. Like they're telling you everything you need to know here. It's, I believe, BYU now or Utah is 2 hours behind, Texas 1 hour behind. So it's a little bit, it's like a 10 o'clock body clock for the start time for BYU here. So a little more advantageous for the Texas Tech side. Texas Tech is just so much better. Defensively, I think they just absolutely maul BYU here. Like I truly think this game is a complete runaway, like 44-10. So I don't think you've missed your number at all. I think honestly anything below 14, and even then I think you're fine. I think this is just over and done with early, like 21-0, maybe at the end of the first, or partway through the second. I mean, I think Texas Tech just gives BYU trouble defensively all day long. I think they do, are able to move the ball offensively enough to put up a lot of points. I just think it's an absolute rout coming. BYU, I mean, we've talked about them so much. They're overrated. Their streak here isn't going to last. The books are telling you that. Uh, it's the lower ranked team as the favorite, and a huge favorite at that. I just think Texas Tech absolutely dominates this game. So I don't think you've missed your number, and I would recommend betting it.
Okay, I'm persuaded. Manning Fresh, thank you in the comments over there on Kick. I hope you are having a great Saturday morning as well. And yes, Saturday is for the boys and college football. What a great time! Only have a couple more Saturdays in regular season, which again is absolutely crazy. But these next couple weeks are going to be absolutely chaos and hopefully fantastic to watch. So I'm really looking forward today and hope you're doing well, brother. Um, yeah, I like that. I mean, I guess I'm a little scarred on BYU. I feel like I got them wrong on that Utah game. Which if you watch that Utah game, Utah had some really bad possessions. I think they fumbled that punt. They just did everything they could to lose that game, and it was at BYU. So I know BYU was the underdog, but I'm a little scarred there. And I know Texas Tech lost to Arizona State. I believe Texas Tech's quarterback went down in the fourth quarter there. Texas Tech scored late to take the lead, and then Arizona State had like a 75-yard touchdown drive to end that game. I was actually on ASU in that game, so I was happy with that result. But still, in my opinion, an okay Texas Tech loss with their quarterback going out in crunch time there. And I'm not sold on BYU. I think they're frauds. Again, we dove into this game way in depth, so we'll try to keep this one short. But it is game of the week. Just wanted to touch on it quickly here. Manning says, love that the BYU Texas game is early today. Yes, it's going to be a great start to the day in college. Usually you don't get that premier matchup early, so I'm excited to tune that on at noon Eastern time for us. So, yeah, I think Texas Tech is the play. I like that your confidence. Maybe I'll get behind it. Like I said, I think there's a 30% boost I've yet to use on DraftKings or FanDuel on this game. Looks like DraftKings. So, yeah, I don't hate it at all. I don't hate it. Let's go to a Big Ten game that, again, was supposed to be another really big matchup, and it turns out is not great at all. We have number 2 Indiana at Penn State. Penn State is a 14 and a half home dog. Who would have thought in August that Penn State would be a double-digit 2+ touchdown dog at home? I know they're playing Indiana. This is probably going to be a closer game. Obviously, when Penn State was number 2 in the country when we started the year. Now Indiana's number 2, Penn State unranked. Penn State has yet to win a game since they fired James Franklin. But I actually have a bet on this game. I have Penn State at the plus 14 and a half. I think it's too many points. Penn State is still a very solid team. I know they are going through an absolute crisis right now, losing their coach, losing their quarterback. Obviously, the team has shown that with not winning a game since the firing there. Indiana's spectacular. And talk about teams I'm scarred betting against. I don't know how many times I've been wrong on Indiana this year in potential letdown spots and potential look ahead spots, and they just keep blowing teams out. But I think this is a great spot. And, I'm a little worried because this is a game that both teams definitely had circled. I think Indiana had this one circled too, knowing that they had a pretty advantageous schedule heading into this game. I know they had Oregon on there, but they beat Oregon at Oregon, and now they have a Penn State team that's depleted depleted and just going on the wrong track here. But too many points for a team that still has 5-star athletes, that still, in my opinion, is a pretty solid team. They just are on a downward spiral, but I think they bounce back. I think it's a great game for Penn State to play spoiler here. I really like Penn State on the plus the points. I don't know if they can have the upset win. I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to bet it, but potentially they surprise the world and shock the world and take down IU. But I wouldn't bet it. But I do like Penn State at plus 14 and a half. Too many points for me to not take them in that position.
Yeah, that is definitely my lean here. This is probably I just don't know if I'm gonna get there. Part of this reminds me of Bama, Florida State, week 1, where obviously Bama and Indiana, very, very good teams, where I was just nervous because I just didn't know what we were gonna get from Florida State and from Penn State. And then Florida State dominates the entire game. Like, yeah, it's definitely not out of the question for Penn State to win this game. Just because they lost Allar, who's not even that good, and Franklin, like you said, they still have a ton of 5-star players, ton of guys that are going to go play at the next level. Um, it's just been a downward spiral, like you said, after losing that game to Oregon. But I don't like if they bring it, they can win this game outright. If they've shipped it in, they get blown out. And I guess my fear here playing against Indiana is after this, they have a home game against Wisconsin, and then at Purdue, they're coasting. So, like, this is probably the last game they really have to care about. Which just gives me a little pause playing Penn State. I don't know. It's hard. I mean, it's just what Penn State do we get? If we get a motivated Penn State at home who's ready to make some noise in the Big Ten, they probably win outright. If we don't, they get lambasted. So I have a lean on Penn State. I don't know if I'll get there. I mean, how strong do you like it?
I mean, I really like it. The problem is, I think Indiana is just immune to these letdown spots, and I just don't know what it is. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if they just have super overconfidence in themselves or just I do think they're a really good football team. Last year I definitely had hesitancy, on Indiana, and it showed in the playoffs. This year I don't have any really. I think they are a spectacular team. They are obviously better than last year. Their quarterback's amazing. Their running back's amazing. Their wide receivers are amazing. Their defense is stellar. And yeah, so that definitely brings. I don't think I've won an Indiana bet this year. So, and I bet
Right.
against them like 4 or 5 times.
I keep
Like,
betting against Indiana and betting on Penn State, and I'm losing both ways.
yeah, I do like it though because it's back at Penn State when that stadium has been empty since the losing of Franklin, since the losing against LSU or UCLA. But I think the stadium might get packed. I really think Penn State's just going to play in that spoiler and say, "Hey, our season's fucked," or F, sorry. But let's just go out and win one last big one. Let's just do it. And I don't know. I think they're going to be super motivated. If the stadium's full and hyped, I think Penn State has a great shot of 100% covering, and potentially again pulling something crazy. So I'm just going to keep it one unit just because I'm scarred from just getting slaughtered by Indiana. But I really do like Penn State.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
yeah,
The opener on this game was Penn State 16.5-point favorites.
it's 31 point difference now. Holy hell. I mean,
There's your value.
there's your value. And I know Drew Aller, we talked about, I don't think he was ever fantastic. And I know him going down, he's probably going to be a better option still than the second stringer, but it's not like you're losing I don't even know a good quarterback anymore. It's not like you're losing Oregon.
Evangeli for Syracuse.
Right,
Where
right,
you don't have another guy that's
right,
really good.
right. And yeah, I like Penn State. I really wish I didn't lose 5 consecutive times on Indiana. That's definitely given me pause, but I think it's just too many points. I think the value is 100% on Penn State, but I don't want to give it out to you saying I'm super confident just because I've been screwed on the Hoosiers this year.
Yeah. I might just half unit it and just
Yeah.
have some action. I think it's
Yeah.
the side, but
Yeah,
it could also blow up in my face. So
100%. 100%. So hopefully that saves back and it's rowdy over there in Happy Valley. Moving forward, I do have a couple more bets at noon. We have Georgia, number 5 at Mississippi State. Mississippi State's all the way up to plus 9.5. I talked earlier on the show. I was took some bets early in the week and some just did not go my way. So unfortunately, I locked in Mississippi State at the plus 7.5. It was actually plus 7, and I bought up a half a point. And now they're plus 9.5. So talk about being the wrong side of line movement. But Georgia has Texas on deck. A really big game there, obviously, for multiple reasons. Mississippi State lost a heartbreaker. Was it last week to Texas or 2 weeks ago? I think it was
2
two
weeks
weeks.
ago.
2 weeks ago. Should have won that game. Lost. Texas scored like 30 points in the fourth quarter. Not quite. Maybe, I don't know. A lot of points in the fourth quarter to come back, win that game in OT. I, I have a bet, so I got to give some sort of reasoning. I do think it's a look ahead spot for Georgia. It's at Mississippi State. Mississippi State historically has been terrible, but this year specifically, they have been scrappy. They've been battling. I just don't know if they're a little depleted from that letdown loss to Texas, but that's 2 weeks removed now. So again, I'm on the wrong side, obviously, on the +7.5. I even wouldn't advise taking Mississippi State +9.5 just because it's moved 2 points, 2.5 points, or 2.5 points. Um, but I think it's potentially an overlooked spot for Georgia. So I'll keep that one quick. I'm just on the wrong side there. Potential letdown spot for Georgia. Hopefully Mississippi State can lose by 4 points, but don't love that just based off the line movement.
Yeah, this one too. It's a pretty strong lean on Mississippi State. Maybe I'll have that one too. I don't know. Yeah, haven't bet it, but yeah, you mentioned the look ahead for Georgia, obviously with Texas. Not only that, but off that Florida win. I mean, Florida deserved to win that game in my opinion. And then for Georgia to come back and kind of win that game the way they did, it was hard fought until the end. Came down to the final play. Basically, had to get the first down there. So yeah, I think it's a tough spot for Georgia, and then Mississippi State. Just two reasons why I really, really, really like them here is, first of all, their remaining schedule is home against Georgia, at Missouri, home against Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl, I believe, and they're one win away from bowl eligibility. So they don't have an easy win on that schedule. Going to Missouri is not going to be easy. I think it's at Georgia or home against Georgia, home against Ole Miss. You got to get one of them. So I think there's a ton of urgency here for Mississippi State off that momentum building win over Arkansas, which was a very tight 38-35 victory for Mississippi State. So I think they're coming in with a lot of momentum. They need a win. Just want to make a bowl game. They didn't have any playoff hopes coming in playing in the SEC. Secondly, at home, they have not lost in regulation all year. They have 2 overtime losses and then 2 wins. The only time they didn't cover the spread was on the road at Texas Tech or Texas A&M. Sorry. So they've been competitive in basically every single game except the Texas A&M game, again on the road, and that was a tough spot. That was off an overtime game against Tennessee. Florida on deck in that one. So yeah, did I talk myself into playing Mississippi State? Probably. I mean, it's a lot of points.
It's a
For a
lot of points.
competitive team.
Yeah, which again, it's crazy to say, but they've been scrappy this year. They have some. If you're a Mississippi State fan, I don't know if those exist. You do have some high points to think about this season, and maybe I know the SEC is a gauntlet, and you're never going to be a great SEC team, but maybe you can turn into an Arkansas or a Kentucky where you have 1 or 2 odd years where you win 8 games, 9 games, maybe get ranked in there a couple times. So I think that program is on the up, but yeah, I'm just gonna. I don't love it as much. Just I've lost 2.5 points of value, and that's a little scary to me. Moving on, SMU Boston College. I love this game. We'll talk about my favorite bet. This might be my second, if not my favorite bet of the weekend. SMU obviously shocked the ACC by beating Miami, potentially knocking Miami out of the playoffs, or plus 5,000 to make the playoffs out of the Hurricanes. So huge win for SMU. They are 100% live to win the ACC with just one conference loss. Their odds to win the ACC are plus 1,100, which makes them 4th best odds. But again, they're in second place at 4-1 in the standings. They have Boston College. They're traveling to Boston College, who's 1-8. Boston College is terrible, but SMU, like I said, might be feeling a little high and mighty, little 100% a hangover spot. They are on bye next week, which I really wish they weren't. But they have they have Louisville at home, and then they have Cal at Cal. So it's kind of their road to lose to not make the ACC championship game here, standing in their way. Again, after bye is a really tough Louisville team, but it's at home. Cal team, which is beatable, but it's at Cal, but 100% beatable. SMU most likely will be the favorite in that game. And now it's just Boston College who's 1-8. It's a very, very easy to overlook. And this Boston College team's not good, but they do have some offense. They do have some bright sides in which is hard to say in a 1-8 team, but I think Boston College wins the game outright. So I have actually bet Boston College on the money line here,
Whew.
and I have taken them at the plus 10.5. I think Boston College. It's my second favorite underdog outright. They're plus 320 on the money line. I think they get it done. I think they beat them. Obviously, if I'm taking them to win outright, I love the plus 10.5. Currently, just have a 1 unit. Might upgrade it to 10 or to 2 units. Not 10. Jesus. Um, I love Boston College. I really think they pull off an upset.
Yeah. Quick before I get into that game, I just have one last comment going back to Texas or Mississippi State. I think the line that you have now and where the line's at, that's one of those games where you're like, I don't care if I freaking win or lose, just don't land 8
Yeah.
or 9. Don't care. I could get blown out. I'll be
Yep.
happier than it landing 8 or yeah. So at least that's always how I feel. Like when I had a terrible number on the Ravens minus 7 and 6.5 or no 5.5, and then they closed like a pick 'em. I was like, please God, don't win by a field goal. But anyway, yeah, I obviously the only way I could look here is Boston College. My fear is that, dude, I can't get it out of my head. I've watched too much Michigan State. Michigan State's ass, and they beat Boston College, so it just gives me so much pause. I mean, it's the only way you could look, and I guess yeah, my other fear is with the buy on deck. I think I do think Boston College covers. It wouldn't shock me to see Boston College win outright. It also wouldn't shock me to see SMU sleepwalk their way to a cover in this game. So yeah, I just don't know what to make of it. I think Boston College gave a big effort against Notre Dame, and Notre Dame sleptwalked their way to a 15-point win. Notre Dame's a lot better than SMU, so yeah. I mean,
Do you have a buy in between? Oh, nope, no buy. Never mind. Sorry.
yeah, it's the only way I could win is Boston College. I'm trying to stay away from playing on bad teams more so this year than what I've done in the past, and I think Boston College qualifies as a bad team. So
Yes. Yes, they are. They're not good. Ben
but
in the comments, I just try to adjust our audio a little louder. And then Florida State, Clemson, Iowa State, TCU, Jacksonville State, UTEP need outright winners. I like UTEP money line. Iowa State, TCU, kind of like TCU. And then Florida State, Clemson. I'll go back to Clemson after Florida State's big win last week.
who do you say he needs?
Florida State, Clemson, Iowa State, TCU, Jacksonville State, UTEP.
I don't know that I have much opinion on many of those.
Yeah, I'm seeing people on UTEP, so that's one bet that I have yet to place, but I definitely have it written down here. Probably will add it. I'm gonna fade Florida State just based off their first Power Four win of the year. I believe no second Power Four win of the year. So I think they're a little, I don't know, high and mighty right now. So I like Clemson to win that game. And then I would say TCU. I like TCU just because there's a game I had circled for TCU. I think they play BYU next week. And I think they can also give BYU another loss. So I'm hoping TCU wins another one, keeps rolling. And I like them in that game.
I see what Ben's doing. Those games, he's in that pick'em league that we do, and those are on the slate. I see what you're doing, Ben. I honestly can't remember who I picked for those, but yeah, I do think dude, Clemson and Florida State are so gross. I mean, yeah, I'd lean Clemson, TCU. TCU's like a 7.5-point favorite, aren't they? Yeah. TCU, I'd go, and then God, I'd be lying if I could give you any info on UTEP, so I'll leave that one just up to your gut.
Yeah, I'm seeing people on UTEP, so I'll probably add them as well. Hopefully the audio is a little louder. What was I? Yeah. Anyways, Boston College not good. We did get the outright win on Wake last week. Oh, not Wake. NC State last week against Virginia. So we are not Virginia, Georgia Tech. So I feel like I got a good read on the ACC, and this is an underdog I think is going to win it. And I have another ACC underdog that's going to win later in the show. Um,
I
and
know that one.
yeah, if you don't know that one, then you haven't been watching, or you're just bought into a team that's terrible. Um, yeah, come on, Boston College, please, please. Okay, we'll continue moving here. Colorado, West Virginia, Temple Army, um, Southern Miss, Arkansas State. I have one play in those three games. I do have Temple at the +7. What is my reasoning? Basically, guys I follow took them. So that's all I have there. I really wish I had more. Sometimes there's just too many games you want to have action. Like I said, I was fortunate enough to have a pretty good betting week last week. So I had a couple extra bucks laying around, and I just got a little risky and tailed a guy more than I normally do, and he is on Temple, and I've seen a couple other guys on Temple as well. So wish I had more read. I haven't watched a single Army game this year. Lost a couple times on Temple, including the Oklahoma loss, which was terrible. But yeah, Temple is the play for me, and then nothing Colorado, West Virginia, or Southern Miss, Arkansas State. Obviously, no play for me.
Yeah, I have no more opinions in the noon slate. And I did quick check on James Madison. I just don't have an opinion. They're like a 13 and a half point road favorite at Marshall.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what to make of that.
We'll try to go a little quicker here because, again, I just had a pretty big noon slate. So we'll go a little quicker here. Second game of the day, game of the week. I'm surprised this isn't college game day location. The Citadel at Ole Miss. Uh, it's just such
51 and a
bullshit.
half.
Such bullshit, man. We're not going to talk about that because I hate how the SEC does that. Ohio State, Purdue, no read for there on me. We have a couple MAC schools. Maryland, Rutgers. I got nothing until 3:30.
Same here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to take a 51.5 point underdog to Citadel, even though they'll probably lose 48-3 and cover. But yeah, F the SEC, man. Play those games in week 2, not freaking week 11. Come on.
Right.
All right, 3:30. We start back up to the ranked matchups. Texas A&M at Mizzou. We have number 9 Oregon at number 20 Iowa. I do have Iowa here on the spread. I have them at the +6.5. This is also both these games are games we talked about on our show. So if you want more in-depth a preview and breakdown of those games, make sure you check out Power 4 picks over on Better and Green. I'm still leaning Iowa or bet Iowa at the +6.5. Iowa plays tough at home. I haven't been super impressed with Oregon this year, but it's just a game. I know we disagree on that one, so I'll keep that one short. I'm on Iowa, and then Texas A&M Mizzou. I don't have a bet yet, but I'm heavily leaning Missouri on this game. I know me and you both had Mizzou on that breakdown. Has any of your opinions changed on those two games?
Yeah, I'll just keep it short on the Oregon Iowa game. We went over it on the show, gave out full breakdown. I am, like Wyatt said, opposite of Wyatt there. So I do like Oregon, but for my breakdown, you can go over there, check that out. However, it's not a game that I'm going to bet. And I know a lot of smart bettors, sharp money has come in on Iowa. I still like Oregon. So I'm going against a lot of good college football minds here. But for that breakdown, you can go over to Power 4 Picks on our channel right now. As far as Texas A&M, Missouri, yeah, I've already locked in Missouri plus the 7. That's one of my 3 bets. So for those keeping track at home, that is Missouri +7 and then Texas Tech -11.5 so far. Talked about this one as well, but A&M is just, they're not a top 10 power rated team. According to the guys that I follow for those power ratings. They're just going to get caught eventually here. There's only 4 games left to do it. It's probably not going to be South Carolina or Samford. That leaves Texas at the end of the season. I think it's this one on the road off a satisfying win against LSU. They had the bye week, which, what I say about the bye, when you go in on a nice streak, you don't really want the bye. You just want to keep rolling. Well, 8-0 is a pretty nice streak there for Texas A&M. So I don't think they necessarily needed the bye. Missouri now, yeah, with the backup quarterback, right?
Yep.
That's Perbula, yeah. Injured player theory here. Tough loss to Vanderbilt, but they get the bye, so now they have 2 full weeks to get this quarterback ready to go. Coach came out and said that this quarterback is their future at Missouri, so a lot of confidence in this kid, which, the coaching having confidence in him is going to show his confidence on the field. Yeah, I just think Missouri here defensively will be able to stay in the points here against A&M. Just don't think it's a good spot for A&M. Think A&M's overrated. So I like the line's a gift at the +7. Think it comes down to the wire. I think Missouri has a shot to win it outright.
God, yeah, I need to add that one because I'm still not sold on A&M. I know they're fantastic. I know Marcel Reed is fantastic player as well. But I'm just still not sold on them. So yeah, I'm looking to fade them, and I think this is a good game to fade here, especially with the backup quarterback at Mizzou. Ben says if Mizzou wins, are they a playoff lock? I'm trying to figure out who they have left for the rest of the year. I wrote it down here.
Mississippi
Mizzou,
State, Oklahoma, and Arkansas.
yeah, I wouldn't call them a playoff lock by any means. 2 losses now. Obviously, they play number 3 A&M. That needs to be a win. Oklahoma is going to be a very tough game to win. Even at Arkansas might be a little tricky. They play Mississippi State, who I said is scrappy too. So I think they have 100% an uphill battle, but it does all start today. It doesn't hurt them to win today at all, but
Yeah.
they would have to win out for them to make the college football playoff. So definitely not a lock. However, I wouldn't mind seeing another block M in the college football playoff there.
True.
John Ewing here. Hopefully, this gives you a little bit more motivation to back Penn State. Penn State is 1-7 against the spread, making them the worst team record-wise in college football. They are playing Indiana, who is the best team against the spread, and Indiana is the most bet team to cover on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, I'm just seeing Fox too. Most tickets, Indiana -14.5.
Yeah, it's going to get gross.
Texas Tech is second. Don't care. They will.
It explains the massive line movement, but
yeah,
it is crazy that the public is jumping on their pride and joy of BYU.
Right.
Maybe they also have multiple different loves, just like the Mormons have multiple different wives. Their other love is probably Virginia. Duke at UConn. I actually do have a bet here. Do I? Yes, I do. 5 points of line movement in this game. UConn opened as a 13.5 point home dog. They are now 8.5 point home dog. I like UConn, even though I'm high on Duke. This is a huge look ahead spot for Duke. Duke has Virginia on deck. Duke is currently the odds on favorite to win the ACC, according to the sports, or depending on which sports book you look at. Virginia, obviously, right behind them. Georgia Tech, also right there in the mix. Georgia Tech's a favorite on some books, but huge game ahead for Duke. And I do think Duke is a very solid team. UConn, people are going to remember UConn. Remember, they're not good, but they are scrappy this year. They're 6-3, or are they 6-3? 5-3, something like that.
6-3.
6-3, really solid team. I like them a lot on the spread here. So I've locked them in at 8.5. Really wish I had the 13.5. But I think Duke squeaks by, and hopefully they can. If Duke and Virginia win this week, and Duke squeaks by, and Virginia has an okay win, I'm going to absolutely hammer the crap out of Duke next week. I came out with the line that Duke would be a 10.5 point favorite at home against Virginia, and people call me crazy. They're going to be at least a touchdown favorite against Virginia. If they lose here too, that would just be, that'd be beautiful. I hope they don't lose because I do like Duke to win the ACC, but I think it's a bad spot. Like you kind of cover the points here.
Yeah, it's nice of college football to give us a beautiful college basketball matchup on opening Saturday of college basketball here. But yeah, this is like the prime fade Duke spot. I mean, off the Clemson win, no buy on deck. Virginia, it's the worst spot possible for Duke, but I can't back UConn because I think I missed too many points. It's the, we don't do it as much in college football, but I know you like to in hockey, like the better team catching a ton of points, or the better record team catching a ton of points. I am seeing UConn is fairly public. And then just the number on the sports books that you and I talked about quite a bit in depth this week just tells me that Duke probably wins the game. So now I'm trying to thread a needle here of, they got to win by a touchdown or less, basically. I don't know. There's just too much going on in my head for this game. I mean, it's couldn't be a worse spot for Duke. Literally could not be a worse spot. So UConn's the only way I could look. I don't know. Something about it. Really, it's probably just the odds that Duke is favored to win the ACC. Can't get that out of my head here. It's saying they're probably going to win this game. I trust the sports books like I'm doing with Texas Tech. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I've missed a couple of times on Duke. lost against that when they were a favorite against Illinois. Remember that earlier in the year?
Yeah,
Illinois won that game pretty easily. There's another game that I lost on Duke, but yeah,
it was
just a
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech where they should have won that game. Oh my god.
Yeah, fumbled on the goal
A
line,
14
returned 90
point
some odd
swing in the
yards.
first quarter. Yeah, holy
Yeah.
F. Yeah, that was ass. But I still think they're a really good team, but just a terrible spot, sandwich spot, huge look ahead spot. UConn's scrappy enough to stay close to this game. So I actually like UConn quite a bit, but definitely the 5 points line moving against my bet definitely hurts my confidence in that. But I think Duke wins by a field goal. Moving forward here, I just lost my spot. Nothing more in the 3:30 slate for me. Obviously, Ben talked about Iowa State, TCU. I lean TCU, but it's not a bet for me. Kansas, Arizona, two Big 12 teams I don't give a shit about. Auburn and Vandy. I think Vandy has a. No, it's on. Never mind. Yeah, I don't know why someone brought up that line. I don't know why someone said, "Oh, Vandy is a look at spot." Well, they have a buy on deck, you dumbass. Um, Yeah, no bet for me in that game. Should be entertaining. I think Vandy probably bounces back. I've lost a couple times on Auburn on these tricky lines as well. They're 6.5 point dogs. You always hate to see that 6.5. So maybe, but nothing left for me until 7.
Yeah, I have a lean on Auburn, but I just don't know if I can get there. The reason would be fading Vandy off that loss. Came all the way back. You never really felt like they had a shot to win that game, but got it within 3 late. And then they should have recovered that onside kick. So I guess they really did have a shot to win. Um, but it's going to be very tough for Vanderbilt now to make the college football playoff. So this could be kind of that dream crusher type, you know. But then at the same time, I don't know if Vanderbilt is a prime candidate for the dream crusher game. I mean, it's Vanderbilt. It's um, what's his face, Diego, who there's just a lot of dogs on Vanderbilt. I just don't know if they have the typical letdown spot that say like Georgia would have in this spot. So, because obviously Georgia, that's all they care about, making the college football playoff. If they don't, their season's completely wrecked. I think it's a little different for Vandy. I would lean Auburn, but good God, dude, Auburn is very, 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 very tough to back. So after I saw what they did in overtime against whoever the hell they played, good Lord, I just
It's
can't
just
do it.
the worst. Georgia, right?
Georgia, yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
We're on Auburn in that game too, which also they got screwed on the freaking goal. How many bets are we going to get that we get
Oh,
screwed on the goal line, man?
Missouri, actually.
Missouri. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Terrible. Um, I got nothing until 7. Anything else in that slot?
Mm, here's one that's going to win, and I gave out the same exact team, told you it was going to win, and it did with ease. Wisconsin's covering.
Yeah.
Promise you.
10.5.
Promise you. They're covering. Guaranteed. But I'm not betting it. I guarantee you they cover. Guarantee you.
If you guys have been listeners at all, if Ethan gives a guarantee and doesn't bet it, that is sure as hell hitting. So that's the bet of the day. I'm not going to get there because I don't want to bet on Wisconsin. But yeah, Wisconsin's covering, maybe even winning.
They've scored a total of 41 points in their last 6 games. Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, that's a 7. Game of the day for me: Wake Forest at Virginia. Virginia 14, 8-1. They lost to a conference team, but doesn't count as a conference loss. Just the biggest bullshit of that no one's talking about this year. Virginia are they 6.5 point favorites at home? Six and a
Yeah.
half, 7, something like that. Okay. I'm in Virginia, so I can't see this on my sports book. So I'm on ESPN, and they have their ESPN bet lines, which is going to go under in the next month. So I don't know how much they care about those. But yeah, let's just get into this. Virginia, talk about overrated. BYU is overrated. At least BYU has a pretty good win. Virginia beat a Florida State team back when Florida State was number 8 in double overtime. Pretty good win. Florida State, as we know, is not good. That win propelled Virginia into the rankings where they have yet to lose and yet to leave the rankings. I don't think that win should have propelled them because Florida State is very similar to Penn State, to Clemson, to teams that were supposed to be good and turns out are just very mediocre. Virginia, like I said, overtime with Florida State, really good win against Louisville in overtime at Louisville. They beat Washington State by 2. They beat North Carolina by 1 in OT. They should have not covered against Cal. So I know they won by 10. That's blown out of proportion. And then, like I said, they've lost to NC State, who I know beat Georgia Tech, but NC State is what would they be in the Big Ten? They would be a Nebraska, maybe, probably even worse. They'd be I don't even know, a Rutgers, maybe a Maryland. In the SEC, they would be like a Kentucky. So just not a good team. And now they are, like I said, the destiny is theirs to win the ACC, to make the college football playoff that no one saw coming. They do have, like we mentioned, Duke on deck, and now they're playing a Wake Forest team where you can get Virginia under a touchdown here after Wake just got murdered by Florida State last week. But this Wake team's tricky. They beat SMU, who now turns out SMU might be okay. They lose by one in overtime to Georgia Tech. So this team could definitely battle with the big boys. And then here's classic Wake for you. They beat Kennesaw State by one. Uh, hmm. Anyways, just a really weird team, but it seems like they 100% played to their opponent's level. Virginia's level is not good, subpar at best. I love Wake. I think Wake wins outright. I have them money line, and I do have them early in the week at plus 7.5. I'm all over the Demon Deacons today.
Yep, I love Wake Forest here. Yeah, so this is my third bet that I've locked in. Wake plus 7, bought it up minus 121, which I was actually advised by one of the guys I listened to he basically put me onto the where you shouldn't buy points ever, especially college football. He actually advised to buy up to 7 in this game. Said you probably wouldn't need it in his opinion, which I don't think you will either. But when he's advising to buy up, I'll listen. So I did buy up to 7 minus 121 for Wake Forest. But yeah, I mean Virginia power rating wise from the guys I listen to, outside the top 50. This team's not even in the top 50 power rated. So they would be like double digit dogs to like Michigan, Penn State, Florida. Um, I mean, just all sorts of teams that, Florida has 3 wins. They'd be a double digit favorite on a neutral field against 12th ranked Virginia. It's just ridiculous. This is the luckiest team in football. We've gone over just endlessly all these lucky wins, how many points they've been up at the end of regulation or should be up at the end of regulation. I mean, they just can't keep doing this. That being said, this is a game that I just want to see the end score and see that I won my bet. I don't want to sweat because
I don't
I
want
had
to
to
watch
sweat
it.
out Cal. Yeah. Sweating out Cal last week, and then I took one breath, one sigh of relief, and boom, pick 6. So yeah, I don't want to watch. Because it is probably at some point Virginia's going to be up 14. I'm going to be like, God damn, here they go again. But yeah, I mean they're so overrated, dude. I hope they somehow get into the college football playoff and are like a 10-point dog to like Notre Dame. I can just put everything on them.
Yeah,
they're gonna get smashed. So yeah, I mean, come at us in the comments. Virginia sucks.
This is also a classic. I think why we do so well in the playoffs and in bowl season when you get these teams playing from different conferences is you just know. And again, we're biased towards the Big Ten. Big Ten has won 2 straight national championships, but the SEC is probably still the powerhouse of football. And if you get a good Big Ten team, a good SEC team, even Notre Dame, who again, not in the conference, but they've proven themselves against Virginia or against whoever's going to make it out of the ACC. If it's Georgia Tech, maybe I'll give them a little leeway because I do think Georgia Tech is. I was just waiting for them to get their loss. Finally got their loss last week. I'm probably going to be pretty high on Georgia Tech till they're done for the year. But this ACC is bad. Miami is always a team that just loses. We saw it last week just randomly. So they're probably out of the playoffs. And same thing with the Big 12. I'll probably be fading both these teams. We saw how good the Big 12 did. I know actually never mind. Arizona State had a good little run last year, but ACC's bad. They're bad, and the power rankings are completely different than records, completely different than AP polls, and it just shows you that Utah with 2 losses is ahead of every single ACC school. So I love that the playoff committee is already noticing the difference of rankings, power rankings of conferences, and the ACC is by far the worst power for. So I can't wait for them if they make the college football playoff to just get cream pied.
Yep.
Love it. Go Wake, please.
Yep.
Continuing, we're almost done here. Cal, Louisville, Florida State, Clemson, LSU, Bama. I have one bet here. I did take LSU plus 10.5. Obviously, there's some people are going to be a little not super enthusiastic to back LSU after firing up Brian Kelly. I think that was a really good thing for their program. I think they're going to talk about a team rallying behind a bad coach, against a bad coach. You don't see that as much in Penn State because I think the team adored James Franklin. He's also done fantastic things for that program. Everyone hates Brian Kelly. Everyone, including me and Ethan, hate Brian Kelly. We saw the players hate Brian Kelly. We saw Malik Neighbors throw out tweets. We've seen past players throw out tweets, past coaches throw out tweets. The whole media is like, Brian Kelly, this guy sucks. So I think the team's going to rally behind the loss. I think it's a great spot for LSU to cover 10.5 at Bama. No, that's a lot of points. Bama does have Oklahoma on deck, so potential look ahead spot. I don't think you can ever overlook LSU, but with the firing of a coach, with the dismantling 2 weeks ago, yeah, I like LSU to cover. But I got nothing on those earlier games besides LSU.
Yeah, Brian Kelly put my alma mater on the map, and I still hate the guy. Just gutless piece of shit. Oh, I'm so curious to see where he goes. But I actually do lean Alabama in that game, but probably not going to bet it. I like Cal again, but I'm just stung. But this feels like a really good spot here for Cal. Yeah, they probably should have lost by 4 or 3 points last week rather than 10. Louisville here, they still need a win to go bowling, which they'll probably get it. They have, well, maybe not. They're at Stanford, have SMU. Louisville is off the win against Virginia Tech. They have Clemson on deck on a Friday night game, so it is a short week. It's a home game. They're hosting Clemson. I mean, that's going to be, coming into the year, that was probably up there on their schedule of their biggest game that they were looking forward to. So I don't think Louisville really runs up the score here. 18.5 is just a ton of points. Gotta lean Cal in that game. I see a lot of people like Kentucky. I don't know.
I am on Kentucky at the plus 3.5. What's the reasoning? I couldn't tell you. I'm just, like I said, had a little extra money, threw it on some guys that I usually tail half their bets, and I just decided to take 90% of them. So I do have Kentucky plus 3.5. Don't really know the reasoning behind it. Potential letdown spot for Florida after what should have been maybe an upset against Georgia, but
Right. And I think that's the reasoning. Ole Miss on deck, but like at 3-5, do you really,
yeah.
you know? But that's what I've been hearing. A lot of people think it is kind of a bad spot for Florida. I just don't know at 3-5 if you really have that. I mean, Kentucky did get a win last week, so it's their first win since September, first conference win. Maybe that builds momentum for Kentucky. They are at home. A pretty good defense at Kentucky as well. Yeah, I lean Kentucky, but I probably won't get there. I don't know. I might end up playing Cal.
Okay.
I think it's a good spot.
I got nothing else for the rest of the nights. We do have a Hawaii game. It looks like it's around 5 p.m. Hawaii time, so 11 p.m. Eastern. They're getting a little early this time, so not quite a tuck me in. But maybe I'll lose some money on that game. Nebraska, UCLA. I'm seeing a lot of people on UCLA, but I believe Raiola is out.
Yep.
So I don't love that as much. Just injured quarterback. I think UCLA is getting a little. I think you're getting a discount on Nebraska, to be honest. So I'm seeing people I follow on UCLA. That's one of the bets I decide against just because of that injured quarterback theory. Also, Ethan, hats off. Another year, Nebraska, ass.
Sure.
I got nothing else. You got anything?
Yeah, I lean Nebraska with the injured quarterback, but I have no clue who's coming in for Raiola. I don't follow that program enough. Yeah, I do lean Nebraska. No, that's gonna be it though for college football.
Okay, quickly, just want to give your 3 best bets, and then if you have any other sports you want to touch on, let's do it right now as well.
Okay. Yeah, 3 best bets are going to be Texas Tech minus 11.5 or 12.5. Missouri +7, Wake +7.
All right, I'll give Boston College plus 10.5. Don't be afraid to sprinkle that money line. Wake Forest plus 7.5 or plus 7. Don't be afraid to sprinkle that money line. And then I will go with UConn at the plus 8.5 against Duke.
Okay. Yeah, as far as other games, I mean, 2 massive college basketball games. We have Alabama and St. John's tipping off in an hour. That's at Madison Square Garden. So kind of a home. Yeah. No, they don't play at Madison Square, do they? Is their home stadium?
I think they do.
Do they?
They're downtown New York. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they do. Anyway, I kind of like Alabama a little bit in that game. But probably not one I'll end up playing. Ooh, it is down to 4.5. That was 6.5. And then Michigan State, Arkansas, obviously the game that I'm most looking forward to. I do like Michigan State on the money line. I'm kicking myself. I it dropped from like minus 140 to minus 115 this morning, and now it's shot back up to like minus 150. So I need to get involved in that. Trying to wait till it hopefully comes back down to like minus 120 or 135 maybe. But I do like Michigan State at home. Izzo, November home record 83-1. Fun fact: I was at the one loss, so not going to be there today. That probably helps them.
Is that
But yeah,
to JMU?
JMU. Yep. Home opener 2 years ago. But yeah, I like State. I am going to come back with Cohen Carr points for those that have college player props. It's probably going to be 11.5, 12.5. A little lower than what it was on Monday, which I lost on Monday pretty big on that. But do you think he plays more in this game where Izzo's more focused on winning and not playing his bench guys and seeing what he's got? So like those two, that's really all I've gotten into for college hoops. NHL, I'm still digging in. NBA, I have some leans in the NBA, but dude, it's just so hard to get anything out in the NBA until like 15 minutes before tip off.
Yeah.
They don't release their freaking rosters, and guys are getting ruled out literally during warm ups. So it's very hard to make bets early in the NBA. But I will give those out. I'll probably end up tweeting them out because I won't place them until right before uh, tip off, and I'll be busy doing stuff today. So I'll probably just tweet those out. But again, running extremely hot in NBA. So if you do catch those tweets before tip off, I would recommend following.
I love it. I love it. College basketball is back. Make sure you check out our channel for some more college basketball content. But we appreciate you guys. Hopefully, you guys have a great Saturday. Win some money today. Enjoy another action-packed weekend of college football. We do have a lot of sports going, so it's a great time. College basketball, like I mentioned, super pumped for this season to get started. Both our teams are looking pretty good, Michigan and Michigan State. So excited to follow those guys along for the rest of the season. And we'll, like I said, we'll start diving in heavy into college basketball probably during bowl season. For me, again, I just get so sucked into college football, especially with my team being probably overrated and whatever, but still in some talks. So that's kind of where my focus is. Obviously, NFL is rolling right now too. So as soon as for me, college football starts, going down a little bit, we'll start really diving into college basketball. But really exciting time. Thank you guys for joining. If you are watching, please head over to our YouTube channel, give us a like, a comment, and definitely a subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. We cover all sports over here at Better and Green. College football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, NFL. Our show is out now. We have MMA, UFC with Bobby and Ben. We have European soccer as well. So make sure you guys do check into our channel if that's something you're interested in. But until then, guys, we're not going live tomorrow.
Nope, probably
Nope.
Monday.
No live tomorrow. We'll be live Monday for Monday night NFL. But until then, guys, do you have anything to add?
No, nope.
Okay.
I'm good.
Until then, guys, we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.
See you guys.